Hello guys, this is Nikhil Roby Coleman. I'm with Tempo Financing, and on this channel, we teach you guys how to get rid of debt. Now, I'm back with another video, basically from my last video to talk about what does it look like if my client had a personal line of credit, right? If she had a personal line of credit and have a credit card balance as well. So basically what I'm trying to say is picture picture she has a credit card first and she has the balance, the existing balance of 4886. And then she gets the personal line of credit, right? She get a personal line of credit, and now she's trying to figure out what she now not trying to figure out, but she's trying to um, get rid of her credit card debt with her personal line of credit. So let's talk about that. So I did an example of $10,000 line of credit, which is right there at a I did it at a 14% interest rate, um, because at the end of the day, 14, 21, 18, whatever, is way better than it's way better than a credit card. It's way better than a loan. But for this purpose, we're going to talk about a $10,000 line of credit with a 14% interest rate. Um, so let's get to it. So the first thing first is, now that she has the $10,000 line of credit, right? Now, once she has that $10,000 line of credit, the first thing that what we're going to do is we're going to take that $10,000 line of credit and we're going to eat this up. We're going to eat this up. So we're going to take the 10,000 and we're going to take away. We're going to take away this uh this uh this balance, this credit card balance. So now the credit card balance is at zero. Now we come over here, right? So now we have to deal with the personal line of credit now. Now we have to pay down the personal line of credit uh, through our income. Take income in, expenses out. Remember that, income in and expenses out. So now we have the personal line of credit of 10,000, and we just took that. We just took the that credit debt away. So now we're here at 5114. That's the balance now for the personal line of credit. So coming into the first month, coming into that first month, right? So I don't have no credit card debt now. Coming into that first month, I put my income in. Put my income in, which is 3750, and I take my expenses out, which is 2567. Now, if you see the difference, we taking all the expenses out of the personal line of credit because we can pay everything with our personal line of credit. We can pay our rents, we can pay our light bill, water bill. We could do the whole situation with a personal line of credit with our expenses. Now, it's not like a credit card. A credit card, you couldn't do that, but with a personal line of credit, with most personal lines of credit, everybody line of credit is different depending on what state you're in or whatever the case may be. But here in the state that I live in, our personal lines of credit can serve as debit, and we can swipe as credit as well. So it's literally great. So um, so what we do is income in and put the expenses out, right? For the first month. Then we get our interest payment of 3046. Coming into month number 2, we do the same thing. Income in, expenses out, interest. Remember, interest is built in with a personal line of credit. Remember that. So coming into month number 2, income in, expenses out. We pay the interest. Now coming into month number 3, income in, and it's paid off. So we literally paid with a personal line of credit. We was able to pay it off in 3 months, compared to a credit card, you pay it off in 5 months. Uh, so it has a 2 month margin, or a 2 month lead, um, in contrast with the credit card, but it's still getting paid off in a fast amount of time, in a quick amount of time. 5 months with a credit card, 3 months with a personal line of credit, right? That you can get rid of your debt. And if you notice as well, the interest payments are lower, right? The interest payments are lower on the personal line of credit than with the credit card, obviously, because of this interest rate and this interest rate. That's why we love personal lines of credit, because personal lines of credit interest is not that high. Uh, it don't go that high up. Credit card interest is on average above 20%. So that's that's what it looks like for a personal line of credit, right? This is what it looked like for a personal line of credit to eat up credit card debt. So after your line of credit eat up your credit card debt, now you go back to the line of credit to pay that line of credit down, right? Pay that line of credit down to zero. Now you have the line of credit at a zero balance, and you have your credit card at a zero balance. Now, moving forward, now you can really up your game a little bit, right? You can use your credit card, right, as your chargeable expenses. So you can use your credit card for your chargeable expenses, and you can use your personal line of credit for everything else to keep this active, to keep it active, to keep it moving. So you could pay all your lights, your water, you could get your groceries, um, any any of those type of expenses. You can use that with your credit card, and then use everything else for your personal line of credit. Now, when it's time to the the credit card bill for the month, use the PLOC to do that. I'm gonna say that again. When you pay your chargeable expenses in your credit card, when it's time for the credit card bill to be paid for the month, use your line of credit to pay that bill. So basically, for this situation, the expenses, right? It doesn't stop. It doesn't change anything for the expenses, because you're just paying it you're just paying it off through the credit card. So so imagine the credit card. I mean, imagine the person on the credit being the big brother, and you got the you got the person on the credit being the big brother, and then you have the credit card being the sister. So you let the sister pay the expenses, the chargeable expenses throughout the month: groceries, lights, water, right? Electricity bill, energy bill, whatever the case may be, right? You taking care of the other stuff on the back end with the person on the credit. But at the end of the month, when it's time for the the bill to be paid for the credit card, you just use the person on the credit to do that. But why? Why? Because the income is funding the line of credit. That's why. So nothing changes as far as numbers. Nothing changes, right? Nothing changes as far as numbers over here, right? Over here, we already know what is the chargeable expenses over here. The chargeable expenses over here is 217. So that 217 is inside of this expense, right? When I take my expenses out, the 217 is inside of this expense.